Warning, this episode discusses sensitive topics related to mental health, including suicide and abuse. If you find these subjects distressing, please consider whether you want to listen to or watch this content. Your well-being is important, so please take care of yourself. If you or someone you know is struggling, please seek help from a mental health professional or contact a crisis helpline at 1-800-273-8255. What's up and welcome to Unusual Chatter Podcast, episode number 15. This is going to be a unique episode. We are talking about mental health on this episode. This is going to be something special because we are having a founder of a nonprofit organization, a mother of two, a doodle mom, and a wife to an amazing husband. She has been a friend of mine for a long time. She's helped me through a lot of my mental health issues, and I can't wait to bring her out here and talk to her and learn more about her life. Let's bring her out here. Heather Palacios. Heather, how you doing?
What's up, Nikki?
What's up? How's it been? How's your day going?
My day's going great because I got to do this today. This was on my calendar and I was looking forward to it.
I've been so excited to have this happen. I've been nervous. I'm not even going to lie. We talked about this a little bit before we got on the camera, but I've been nervous to have this happen. But I'm excited that this is finally happening.
You know, you're not the first person to say I make you nervous.
I don't want to say you made me nervous. Now twist it.
Try being married to me.
I didn't say you. I just said this is nerve-wracking. This is something deep. This is going to be a very strong, powerful, and interesting episode, and I'm very excited.
Okay.
But I think that people need to hear this, and
yeah.
I'm very excited to talk to you, especially about all of this and see where this goes, and hopefully this helps somebody take off from wherever they're going and
not give up.
Not give up. Exactly.
Hey, listen, we're still here.
Exactly. That is so good. We're still here.
So
we're still going.
We got to talk about that.
Amen. So I have some questions to get us started.
Okay.
So let's start easy.
Okay, good.
We'll get into some more stuff towards the end.
Okay.
All right. So from the beginning, name, marital status, and what's the most interesting place you've ever visited?
Okay, my name is Heather Michelle Funk Palacios.
Okay,
Funk. Do you hear that?
Funk. All right. I like that.
Who's the king of funk?
The king of funk.
Do you know?
Who's the king of funk?
George Clinton.
I don't think I know that.
Why must I be like that? Why must I chase the cat?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Nope. And I'm supposed to be a musician.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, now you know something.
I'm disappointed in myself. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right. Now you know. I'm married to Raul Enrique Palacios.
Raul.
100% Cuban.
100%.
100%. And the most interesting place I've ever been, I'm going to go with my mom and dad's bed.
Please explain.
Please don't edit that out.
Wait.
Because I was born there.
Okay, wait.
For reals.
That's okay.
What? I've always wanted to be able to answer that question with that answer.
Okay. I was so confused, Heather.
No.
I was so confused.
Look at my niece Marissa's here. She's tripping too.
I'm flabbergasted.
Your gas is flabbered. This will be the last time I'm on this podcast.
Oh my gosh. There's so many. I was like, what?
I was
censored immediately.
No censor. No censor.
I was like,
this PG. I was born in Bowling Green, Ohio, in Rob and Rachel's bed. For reals. I don't know if I was made there, but I know I was born there.
That's so really.
Yeah.
So you weren't born in a hospital?
Nope. My parents were hippies, and they didn't believe in hospitals.
Wow.
So I was born at home. Almost 10 pounds.
Wow. What do you do for a living?
That's a great question. That's got a normal answer.
Okay.
I'm on staff at Church by the Glades.
Okay.
And I run a non-for-profit called Wondherful, where we, through the curation of life boxes, help anybody, anywhere, going through anything to not give up, because I believe that one more suicide's one too many.
Wow, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I want to get more into that, but I'm going to get more into that in a little bit.
Okay.
I want to go with some other questions first. So what do you do for a hobby?
Hobby, I play with my golden doodles.
Okay.
That's a hobby.
We do have a hobby. We have a similar hobby. Well, we used to.
And I watch crime documentaries
Okay.
so that I know how to get away with it and don't end up on the crime documentary. Because, see, the reason we have crime documentaries is because all these bobos are stupid. When they're out there killing people, they get caught and they have to make shows about it. I watch all these shows so I figure out how to do it, and they won't have any material to make.
Wait. Okay. Hold on.
Because I'll get away with it. I'll be a smooth operator.
I'm terrified of those shows.
Really?
I'm terrified of like
Dateline?
Dateline. I'm terrified of
It's my favorite.
all the like scary shows like that.
2020, 48 Hours, Forensic Files.
All of them. They terrify me because I'm like it's exactly why the reason that you watch them. I'm the reason why I don't watch them because I'm like I could be in that scenario at any point in time, and I'm like I don't want to know that I can be in that scenario. I'm scared. I'm terrified.
Well, do you want to know? Can I give you at least one tip?
Please.
Always get a burner phone.
A burner phone.
These morons that bring their cell phones to do these crimes, so stupid. They leave their digital fingerprint everywhere. Huh. Yeah, always go get you a burner phone at Walmart. Leave your iPhone at home.
Wait, so Dateline. So like, how did you like? I heard that all three questions I just came out at once. Like there was three questions that came out at once. That keeps happening to me where I literally start a question and then three come out at once, and my brain's just what? What happened? What's going on? But I heard a rumor that you were like an honorary host for that show or something. What is that true?
Well, since you asked, I was Dateline's Friday ambassador.
Wait, for real?
And they reached out to me through DMs and said, would you send us a video because you've officially made it as Dateline's ambassador this Friday night.
What?
And they showed me.
That's crazy. Welcome, Buddy, to the episode. He's now joined us. Thank you.
As he should.
Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes.
All right. So what's a fun fact about you?
Other than where my favorite place is.
Yes. Other than one of your favorite places.
A fun fact about me is that I don't know. I mean, everything I do is odd. I did get bunion surgery in college, and it came back. So I literally have like the prodigal son bunion.
What?
Yeah, I had it surgically removed. Buddy, I gotta tell you the story. Surgically removed, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it came back. So it's like the prodigal son bunion. Oh my gosh, shenanigans. Oh, only with golden doodles though. If this was a smart breed, it would just be sitting like a statue.
Sorry. Thank you, guys.
This is why this podcast is going to take off, because this got a golden doodle on it.
Anyways.
You can't... Upset the Gram got nothing on this.
I don't understand. We're trying here. We're trying. Fun fact. I'm trying to think. What's a fun fact about me?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a fun fact. A fun fact about the podcast. Fun fact is, excuse me, I'm trying to tell a fun fact about the podcast. Thank you. Fun fact about the podcast, we are launching merch. We're launching merch, guys. And we're launching merch today, right now. It is launched. Yes, the merch is launched. You can go to the website right now and get your merch. That is a plug. I'm plugging it. Sorry. We're taking a minute to plug the merch because it's launched. I don't know if you can see. I'm wearing some right now.
Oh, I wish I could see the back.
Oh, wait. I'm going to show them the back.
Show them the back, because the back is so... I've already bought two.
I don't know if you can see it. It says stay blessed. It says stay blessed, don't stress.
And it's got smileys on a matrix.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so y'all buy a hoodie, buy a t-shirt, buy I think we got stickers and we got a mug. So y'all buy the merch. It's out there. Well, Heather,
Yeah.
because we love you so much and we're glad that you came, we want to hook you up with some merch.
Yeah. Oh, I just said I bought 2.
Well, now we're gifting you.
I'm
a
so
merch.
wearing this. Look at the bag, you guys.
We got a bag.
Look at the
too.
bag. Look at the bag.
Bag.
Marissa, look at that bag.
We got a tote bag.
Good. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to be so proud to wear this because you know I love you.
Unusual Chatter.
You're one of my favorite people. Look at that, buddy.
Unusual Chatter t-shirt.
Do people see that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Merch.
All right. I'm wearing it and I'm going to post it.
See, we out here.
Okay.
So y'all get your merch.
Yep.
Make sure y'all check it out on the website right now. All right. Back to the regularly scheduled program.
That was a good public service announcement. That was a good one. Yeah.
Oh, what is this?
Now we got to talk about serious stuff.
Yeah, we gotta go to the serious stuff. No, we can't talk about serious stuff. I got another funny question for you.
Oh, good.
You think I'm gonna go to serious stuff right after?
Wow.
Oh, my head.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to throw this in. The first person to subscribe to your podcast, I'm going to buy them a hoodie. Okay?
First person to subscribe to the podcast after this episode?
Yeah.
First person.
First person. So you got to have your people figure that out. First person, I'm going to buy, Wondherful is going to buy them a hoodie.
All right. You heard that. First person to subscribe to the podcast after this episode, you guys get a free hoodie from Wondherful.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. Just had to throw that in.
I got a question for you. A random question.
Yeah.
What's better? Chicago style pizza or New York style pizza?
What a stupid question. This is stupid.
You know I've never had Chicago style pizza, so this is why I had to ask.
Okay, well.
She's like, stupid question.
Stupid question.
How dare you?
Chicago style pizza is the only kind of pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it really like that?
Let me break it down for all your listeners in a very simple way.
Okay.
Let me kind of use like what did Jesus talk in? Oh, parables. That's right. Okay, let me use a parable. Chicago style pizza is the best.
Okay.
New York style is a communion wafer with ragu on it. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say about that.
I'm so sorry for all you New Yorkers out there.
I know.
All of them are gonna be like,
I'm gonna get some hate mail.
Dislike.
I know.
Dislike.
I know.
As soon as we hear this part,
I know. I'm
dislike.
gonna get a lot of I'm getting a lot of hate mail. I don't care. I stand by my convictions.
Wow. I'm trying to do an episode. We can't right now. Sit.
He don't know sit, buddy. I got him.
High five. High five. Thank you.
My doodles don't do that.
Good job. Good job, buddy.
Good boy.
Good
Good
job.
boy, buddy.
All right. So, Heather, tell me a little bit about your story.
I'm 50 and started struggling with suicide when I was 8. Mm-hmm. So that's about 42 years. And what makes it unique is it's basically, struggling with it in every season of a person's life, excluding, the senior citizen season. Mm-hmm. So, it makes me able to understand anybody in any season of their life if they're going through a dark time. Yeah. Because I've walked, in their shoes as far as, that dark time wanting to lead you to just wanting to give up.
Yeah. You've helped me through many of my times of depression and anxiety. There was times where I was struggling and you were there for me and you picked me up through a lot of those times. So I thank you for that because I remember just needing somebody and you were there for me. So I really appreciate that. Yeah. So thank you.
Always.
Ooh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Like, oh, he's about to get me. Okay. How do you work on your mental health on a daily basis?
I have always kept it simple, Nikki, for 2 reasons. Mm-hmm. One is because I was 8 when I first wanted to die. Mm-hmm. And so I understand that can be an affliction that a very young person's grappling with.
Yeah.
So I can't make it complicated.
Yeah.
Because I help people as young as that. I also keep it simple because I'm not an intellect.
Yeah.
I'm not a scholarly person. And so on a day-to-day basis, I do a few things. I do take medication. I do have boundaries. I get outdoor activity, even if it's just go outside and play with the doodles.
Yeah.
I journal, get counseling. I get regular church attendance, and I know my worth.
When do you think it's important to start seeking help?
I would liken that to any kind of physical malady. When do you decide to go to a doctor, a physician?
That's good.
If you start to perpetually sneeze, you're like, I think I'm going to go to an allergist.
Yeah.
If you start to perpetually have chest pains, I think I'm going to go to a cardiologist. Well, your brain is an organ, not to be delineated from any other organ in your body. And I think if you start to see a pattern that seems out of the norm with your brain, you need to go talk to someone.
I've experienced people who have said, like, when you talk about the medicine stuff, who are like, they don't think they should take medicine. How do you speak to that when people are like, they don't think medicine is the right move? For me, how would I talk to them to be like, medicine isn't like a negative. It's not something that's bad. It's something that could help. It's what's the right way to phrase this? Because like they use God in the sense.
Right,
They're like, God's not gonna make me take medicine.
Right.
God's wouldn't do that to me. So how do I talk to them and be like, God's okay with you taking medicine?
Right.
How do I say that to them?
That's a great question, and I've had to entertain that question a lot.
Yeah.
In kindness and in hostility. When I've gone and spoken at various events, there's been sometimes like a meet and greet afterwards, and I'll never forget this one meet and greet where a male professional was waiting to meet me, and when it finally got to be his turn, all he wanted to say to me essentially was, this wouldn't be your battle if you had more faith. And, I punched him in the face, and then, just kidding. In my mind, I did. No, it was as hurtful as it was so good for me, because I realized, oh, okay, so there's going to be people that hate me because I take medicine. And so I worked on that with God, and I was like, God, what am I going to do with this? And I realized that's not my problem. That's not my battle.
Yeah.
I'm fighting to stay alive.
Yeah.
So what you think of what I'm doing to stay alive is your problem, not mine. And so I'm not going to be bitter, and I'm not going to be opinionated, and I'm not going to debate. So I just respectfully disagree with people, but you be you, but let me be me. Is kind of how I am with the people that are hostile.
Yeah.
The people that come to me inquisitively or curiously.
Yeah.
Should I take medicine? What do you think of that? With that, I'm more inclined to maybe get more, more biblical.
Yeah.
Jeremiah cried out, "Oh, where is the balm of Gilead?" Well, balm is a medicine. And so even as early as in the book of Jeremiah, there was these references to we need this medication, we need this medicine. And so it's not like it was outlawed or forbidden. And that's for the people that just want some kind of biblical reference. I'll point to that. But I'll also just say, what would you do if you had asthma? What would you do if you had a headache? What would you do if you had to get a C-section and they said, we're going to give you a morphine drip? What would you do if you had cancer and they said, we're going to treat this with chemo? I mean, if you're going to say medicine is not good because God can do anything, then apply that everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just kind of get people to think on their own terms, but I play through the thought processes that I've had to go through.
Yeah.
And because I take I Advil for a headache, and I had morphine for a C-section. I take medicine for my brain.
What's the importance of staying in a church during the time of like battling mental health?
Yeah. I mean, it's to me, it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I don't say that because it's easy.
Yeah.
The times when it is the darkest and you're in the worst depression, having the worst anxiety, in the worst grief, battling the fiercest suicide, is the time you need to go to church. And you would rather stick needles in your eyes.
Yeah.
The church is an hour of a free fill up for an empty tank.
Yeah.
And mentally, you have an empty tank.
Yeah.
And there is nowhere else you're going to get a free fill up than the house of God.
What's the best way to talk to somebody or help somebody who just went through something like traumatic? That's maybe they're not thinking of suicide basically, but they are going through like depression and anxiety.
Or just trauma.
So,
I mean, full disclosure, that, that's been my plight the last year and a half. A year and a half ago, I have just unexpectedly lost my youngest brother, Chris. That's the worst phone call. People always say that, and it is the worst phone call.
Yeah.
That somebody that you're very close to, that you love, that you didn't expect to die is dead. And it sucks. Grief sucks. But on top of that, the guilt of not being able to save him, and it most likely having been him giving up his life or a suicide death, has just really taken its toll on me. A lot of trauma, and not trauma in the sense that I was violated. The trauma is that I was in the ER, physically holding on to his body as the life was leaving his body, which for somebody that's in the mission of trying to help people not lose their life, to see the life leave Chris's body has been very traumatizing, and has affected everything I do and all my relationships. And back to the church thing, a pearl of wisdom. Now that I know, looking back, I held his service at our church, and his casket where his dead body was where I stand in worship. So, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite and say that you have to make yourself go to church no matter what. It was very hard for me. And I really struggled with going back to church, but I knew that was the goal. The goal was to get back to church. And I finally have gotten there.
that's good.
Yeah. So trauma is something like that, just a blindsided, excruciating pain that you didn't see coming.
Yeah.
What do you do with that? How do you help somebody with that? First thing, I think you just got to find a Christian counselor or therapist. And the reason why I say that is because for a few reasons. The people that you're closest to, we think, you're my number one, you're my ride or die. Yeah, but you're also not trained to handle what I just went through.
Yeah.
And it's an injustice to you for me to spend the last year and a half pouring out onto you all the pain I have inside. You're not equipped for that.
Yeah.
We're friends. You're not a therapist.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a mistake that we make with a lot of our relationships, whether it's in a marriage or a parent-child or a friend and a friend, is this sudden excruciating trauma happens. And we go to the people that we're closest to, forgetting that they are not equipped
Yeah.
to handle all that.
Yeah. I think that I've had to learn that personally, because I tend to go to my friends for a lot of my problems. I vent to them, thinking that oh, you're my friend, I can help. I can vent to you, I can go to you for my trauma or my problems or whatever. And then I end up feeling bad because I feel like I'm putting a lot on them, or I put too much on them, and then or they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
They don't know what to say.
Right.
And
Right.
then I'm like, oh, well, that didn't help me.
Yeah.
Or they're like, yeah, pray about it.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay,
Right.
that's good.
Right.
What else?
Right. Right. Exactly. And again, the simple parable that I've used, especially when I communicate to students,
Yeah.
is I say, your counselor is your landfill.
Yeah.
You take this dump truck full of fecal matter and molded food and yucky, smudgy banana peels and rotten apples and garbage and soggy toilet paper,
Yeah.
and you go to the landfill of your counselor and you just dump the truck onto that landfill, onto your counselor, and you don't have to clean it up.
Yeah.
You don't got to take it back with you.
Yeah.
That is her problem, his issue. That is theirs now.
Yeah.
And you walk out way lighter than when you came in.
Yeah.
That's why you pay them.
Yeah.
And that is not duplicated in any other relationship.
Yeah, I think that I have to learn that a little bit more. I think I have it backwards where I feel like I can vent to my friends and I can do all that with my friends, and then with my therapist, I feel bad dumping all my stuff on my therapist, or I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think that you can know all this yet.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
you yet.
yeah.
I'm not comfortable with you yet, so I
Right.
don't want to tell you everything. And then I'm like, wait, but I need help with
Yeah.
this, and my friends can't help me.
Right.
They're not helping me with the situation. So
Yeah.
I
I
need
mean,
to
to
flip
me, I'm like, I'm getting all my money's worth. So I'm going to tell you it and then some. Because you're like $300 an hour. So you are going to hear it, and then again, just going back to when we try to put therapists onto these other relationships, how do you think they feel
yeah.
when they're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They feel bad.
Yeah.
Or when they do give you advice, like Job's friends in the book of Job, and it was all way off.
Yeah.
So I just really point to that Christian therapist, that Christian counselor. And I've had people from all around the country say, I can't find one. And I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that, because the Bible says that the Lord is a counselor. He's a mighty counselor. He's a counselor. He's a Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a spirit of counsel. I mean, so I know that it's intrinsic. It's embedded in him himself. Mm-hmm. And I refuse to believe that he would deny us getting that counsel through his Holy Spirit. So I see it as a challenge from the devil when people call me and say, I can't find one. I'm like, I'll take care of it. I'll find you one.
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
What are some books that you recommend for people who are like struggling with like mental health? Do you have any books?
The number one book I recommend for people like me is The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, you can get it at bookstores. You can get it at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to say that there's people like you and I, but there's also people that have to live with people like you and I.
Yeah.
And I've always said that it's one thing to be me. It's another thing to live with me.
Mm-hmm.
And to Raul's credit, he has somehow managed to do that for 25 years. And to DJ and Andy's credit, respectively 21 years and 18 years.
Yeah.
And so for them, I always want to recommend a book too. And that's the book called Boundaries by Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend, Boundaries, because they're not God.
Mm-hmm.
And we being the mentally afflicted person, expect them to be God in the sense that they're going to drop everything they're doing every single time to save us.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Speaking of your kids and your husband, how do you parent and marriage while struggling with mental health?
I just have always echoed Raul's sentiment that he learned from getting counseling himself years ago. He was able to say it in a nice, concise, fluid way that, it's my job to love Heather and it's God's job to save her. Mm. Raul can't lay down his life running home every hour to make sure I didn't kill myself.
Yeah.
Jesus laid down his life for me.
That's
so Raul lets him be the one to determine, saving me. But Raul needs to love me, and he's done a great job of that.
That's good.
As far as DJ and Andy, that's a whole nother podcast on how much do you tell your children, when you have a true mental diagnosis. And I think Raul and I have done as best as we can.
Yeah.
DJ and Andy have been admirable in the way they've managed living with a mom that struggles with what I do. And I think that they would even be worthy of a podcast. I think Andy actually did one time for a psychologist out of Orlando. What's it been like to live with a mom that struggles with suicide?
Yeah.
He's got a really interesting take on it, but they've done good. Fortunately, they turned out more like Raul than me. God was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna put the genetics of Heather just in Heather.
How did you handle the pandemic?
Yeah, that was brutal. That's one of the things I now include in the things that have tested me with suicide. I thought, there's bullying, there's breakups, there's trauma, there's grief, there's pandemic. There's another one. That put me to the test. It wasn't as big of a test as losing my brother last year.
Yeah.
But the pandemic was a test, Nikki, because it was mandated isolation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you look at the Bible of the people that danced with the devil of giving up,
Yeah.
and you look at secular cases of people that gave up, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, most recently the PGA golf player Grayson, Robin Williams. Well, they're not in front of a crowd when they take their life. They're by themselves. They're isolated.
Yeah.
So now you have this being mandated nationwide that we need to isolate. We need to shelter in place. We need to be 6 feet apart. We need to hunker down at home. We can't be within 6 feet of anybody. That's really going to mess with your head.
Yeah.
And very unfortunately, I was ministering to a lot of families that were losing loved ones to suicide that year.
Wow.
That was the year that I did a funeral on Zoom. A woman had reached out to me and was desperately trying to help her sister not give up. We were doing everything we could. It was a full court press, every day, night, 2 weeks long of just trying to do what we could to get her sister to not die. And she did. She took her life and left an 8-year-old daughter. And so at the funeral home, the funeral allowed the 8-year-old daughter to be there in the front row with 4 or 5 family members, and everybody else had to be on Zoom. And so I presided over a funeral with this 8-year-old daughter by herself and all these people on Zoom on unnecessary death because the pandemic's over.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have to remember when we get tempted to give up is what we're so defeated by, what we so want to not feel anymore or endure anymore is not forever.
Yeah.
The bankruptcy, the affair, the crime, the pandemic, the grief, the trauma, those are not forever seasons. Every winter has a spring.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about about the life boxes?
Yeah, so it was during COVID, Nikki, that, I was just getting inundated with people, not medically in dire straits, but mentally in dire straits. And I couldn't help them. We weren't allowed to go anywhere. We couldn't even go to church.
Yeah.
So just out of desperation and wanting to do something, just started to ship out of my home what I normally would have taken in a visitation. And that became known as a life box, and it's full of all the things I've needed the last 42 years to keep going. And, I'm a gift giver. And so in addition to the resources, because I'm a gift giver, I wanted all these recipients to feel valued, surprised, loved. So just started using Raul's credit card and beefing up these boxes with all these other tchotchkes and fun things. And that grew and grew. And then I had to move out of my dining room into an office, from the office into a warehouse. And in the 3 years we've been doing the life boxes, I think we're at like 16,000 now.
Wow.
16,000, all 50 states, 14 countries.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Every day now. Every day we get life box requests from all over, and they're heartbreaking.
Wow.
Some examples. The range is insane. At Christmas time, a grandma had her grandson over, and he walked out from her high-rise patio and jumped to his death.
Wow.
And she couldn't get over the grief, so somebody requested a life box for her. Another person, their cat died, and they just couldn't. They were in such despair because of the loneliness.
Yeah.
And so we sent them a loneliness grief box. We had a chaplain from a military base before they deployed to, I don't know, something going on over there in the, I don't know, one of those countries over there. So we had a bunch of them from a military base, get them before they were deployed.
Mm-hmm.
We've had, kids as young as 5-year-old try to take their life. I've seen it all, but we never turn it down.
Mm.
Anybody can get a life box for anything, and it's going to be over the top with love and value.
That's good.
Because that's the only one of those people. They can't be replaced.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to give up. That's
good. What's life teaching you right now?
It's hard, Nikki, because the story that I tell as I go around and speak is not the story of yesteryear. It's not like 7 years ago. I was a poor young girl in a one-room house, and I had to walk to the outhouse.
Exactly, yeah.
And here I am, victorious.
Yeah.
My battle as a kid is still my battle today.
Yeah.
So when I go and share in front of an audience, it's plausible that morning I had to text my accountability group I need somebody to come over here now, which means, I'm having thoughts of taking my life. Mm. And so figuring all that out, and then on top of that, you're running an organization to help people not take their life.
Yeah.
At the same time that you could be struggling with taking your life.
Yeah.
And then your younger brother takes his life.
Yeah.
It's so much death all at once in one brain that's trying so hard to grasp at life. So I'm taking off the month of June.
Okay.
Yeah. This will be the first time I've ever done that.
Wow.
But I'm tired of crying.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of all of my discourse being around the details of my brother's death and the details of me trying not to die. I need to have a month's worth of different conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to Italy, Greece, and Turkey. I'm gonna talk about the Apostle Paul.
Live your best life.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye. What keeps you grounded and stress-free?
Being able to say no.
That's good.
I have no problems with it.
Okay.
No problems. I have no problems saying no because I know in my heart that I'm doing it with the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't say no out of rebellion. I don't say no out of spite. I don't say no out of dishonesty. I'm not saying no to this because I'm going to play the mental health card, but deep down inside, I'm just too lazy to go.
Yeah.
My no is with the Lord.
Yeah.
It's because I need to be careful with how much I say yes to.
Yeah. Okay. What's a goal you're going after right now?
heaven on God's watch. I'm looking forward to heaven. Earth's hard.
Earth is hard.
Not going to lie. I know that that's probably a morbid answer that none of your podcast interviewees would ever say, but
No.
I'm too old to BS on here. Sorry.
But you're I like it. I like it because it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's unusual.
Earth's my timeshare. Heaven's my home.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. What makes you unusual?
Me. I know that I'm unusual. I know that I am. I have very good. I'm not the smartest crayon in the tool shed. Wait, that's not even how it goes. Wait, how's that phrase go? I'm not the smartest tool in the crayon box. What is it? I don't. Marissa, how's that thing go?
I thought it was not the tool shed.
Shut up! I don't even know. Whatever. Okay.
I'm using that as the intro.
I don't even. But I don't know what that metaphor. I don't even know what that metaphor is. But you know what I'm saying.
That's great.
But I have good self-awareness, and I know that I know that I know. There's one Heather Michelle Funk Palacios. There is one girl with the prodigal son, Bunyan, who was born in her parents' bed, who has battled suicide, married to a Cuban, works at a church, and has worn every costume known to man on stage.
Everyone.
And is still breathing.
And is still breathing and is still living to this day.
Yeah.
Man, this has been great.
Good. I hope so.
Thank you so much, Heather Palacios, for joining us today on Unusual Chatter Podcast. We appreciate you so much for coming out here and doing this. Yeah. This really meant a lot to us. Yeah. This is really good. And they needed to hear this. Yeah. I needed to hear this. This was a conversation that was really good.
Good.
And thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for never giving up.
Thank you.
And thank you for letting me come alongside you. I'm really proud of you.
Till the end.
All right.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining Unusual Chatter Podcast. This episode was very unique and very special, and I'm glad you guys joined us for it. Till then, stay blessed, don't stress, and we'll see you guys on our final episode of the season next week. Guys, see ya. Bye.
You are the smartest chalk in the ironing board.
That's how it goes?